got the countdown, so that means it is time. Everyone's favorite time of the night. It is Seattle Connected, the show that connects you with entrepreneurs, business people, movers and shakers in our community. I'm letting you know who they are first before they become household names, which I know they soon will be. Tonight's wonderful guest. Let me see. She does a few things, but I'm going to let you know her insight. So she wanted to be an entrepreneur, but it's not because others told her to do it. It's because her spirit told her to do it. That spirit and that love for cooking started in the kitchen. She is a baking expert, I guess you could say. She does it in her sleep sometimes. Actually, she thinks about different recipes and different goodies that she's going to come up with. And always it comes out perfect. But she wants to make sure she's feeding your soul and your body. And it tastes good, too. You know, we got to always have the flavor. Please give it up for my friend, Makayla from Max Snack Shack. You can say it 3 times. Max Snack Shack. Please give it up for the trailblazing Makayla. What's up?
Hi. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Yes. How was the intro?
It was great.
Was it?
Yeah, no, dude, that was like, I don't think I've ever had an intro that
Come
good.
on now.
Like, that made, I was like, oh, that's me.
That
wait.
is you. And we just getting
He's
started.
talking about me. Okay, yep.
Just getting started.
Yep. I was
Let's
like, oh,
go.
Yep.
Let's go. They ain't ready.
Yeah, they're not.
They ain't ready.
They're not.
First of all, I have to thank you for coming, not only coming prepared, but also coming with gifts in hand. You know, I always tell my guest, you know, I'm not against accepting gifts. And you came. People, this is what you need to do if you come on Seattle Connected. So she hooked me up. I'm not going to show you all my goodies, but she hooked me up. I'm not going to tell you all the flavors. I don't know what all the flavors are. I'm going to show you one of them. Which one is this?
That's my lemon poppy seed muffin.
Ooh, lemon poppy seed.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
Oh, that's actually one of my most popular flavors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it your favorite?
That one and the coffee cake, my faves for sure. That one, it's got a crumble on the top and it's got a glaze. I feel like it's got just a little bit more love than the basic ones, you know. So when you take a bite, it's just like, okay, yeah, this is a good muffin.
Has a little more love.
Yeah, for sure.
Love is good. Make it with love, like Grandma and them used to do.
That's exactly why I do it.
Come on now. Makayla, are you from Washington?
I was born in Oregon, but I have been a resident of Washington since I was like 4 years old, so I kind of claim both.
You have those Northwest roots.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, that's what's up. Now, I already told everyone about your love of baking, but I guess you can tell them better than me. I'm sure there's some things that I left out. How'd you get into baking when you were baking in your sleep, like I said in the intro?
And I really do be baking in my sleep.
See?
My love for baking really has rooted just from my childhood. I grew up with my great-grandma heavily in my life, and she was a lunch lady at an elementary school. And back then, they made everything, like, from scratch. And so I remember, you know, my mom was a single mom, and there'd be a lot of times where I was sitting in the kitchen with my grandma, watching her cook. When we came home, we're cooking dinner together. We're making breads, cinnamon rolls, like all these type of things. And cinnamon rolls were like my favorite thing to make with my grandma. She made them so perfectly, and it was just, you know, everybody's grandma make the best cinnamon rolls. So it's just like coming from that and just heavily cooking my whole life, it's always been a part of me. Yeah. As I got older, I found myself always cooking for my friends, always hosting gatherings. I'm always like, hey, let me make a big meal. Everybody eat. Have you ate today? Come over and grab a plate. You know, that was just always how I've been. And after a while, I remember there's one day I was sitting with my brother, and he was just like, man, this is Max Smack Shack. And I was looking at him like, yes. Wait, what?
It was a sign.
It hit me so hard, like, wait, that's actually kind of cool. Wait. And then after that, I started thinking more, and it kind of transpired to me selling plates for a while.
Yeah.
But really just the love that I get from, and the feeling that I get from feeding people, I feel like is really what's fed my passion. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing better than making food for someone and the smile that it gives them. There's power in food. You know, you can go to a restaurant and have a horrible meal, and the rest of your day is jacked up. And people don't really realize that. You have a great meal, you're like set for the day. You're like, yes, I'm ready to go. And so being able to see that influence that I can have by giving people a good product it's like, I just love that. I just like am like a joy dealer.
Yeah. Yes. I like that. Joy dealer. A hug dealer.
That part. Yeah. We
Yes.
give hugs here for free, for sure.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I like how you mentioned, your grandmother was working in the schools, cooking from scratch, which is amazing for, such a large group of people. But just the joy that you had working with her in the kitchen and building those memories, and I think that's something that at times gets lost because it's more than just cooking. It's the relationships you're building, the stories, the bonds, and it makes you want to give everything you have when you're in the kitchen. And like you were saying, you're cooking to not just feed people, but make people feel good. You're right. You could have a horrible meal at a restaurant, or it could be just overpriced or bad service. You're going to remember that. But if you go somewhere and the food is great, it could be a place that no one's ever heard of. And you're like, this was amazing. I'm going to remember this, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to spread the word. And I think food, just like music, always brings people together.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Yeah?
Yes.
You like it?
Oh yeah. And that's part of my passion, my family, we've got 5 generations, right? So when we come together, it's a big gathering, and that's there's fellowship, there's growth, there's intimacy there, and in our communities today, we really have lost that connection. We've lost that intimacy. Just a few numbers, over 50% of families don't even plan to eat meals together these days. And then 50% of that budget to eat fast food restaurants. So we're not only losing connection, but we're losing health. And that's just something that I've really noticed in terms of the things that I value, when I see people that I love and they don't understand that connection. It's been a big passion of mine. I actually teach family-focused classes at the Hands-On Children's Museum. So I teach between 15 to 20 families how to do something together, baking-wise or cooking-wise. So whether that's decorating a cake or decorating cookies, we make a kit for them to be able to take home and share with their other children or their other family members. But the feeling that they have when they come in, they're like, I can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing. And to see both the parent and the child learn to work together and create something beautiful, every single family is jumping up and down like happy, like I can't believe that we were able to do that together. And I definitely see how the power of people being together in the kitchen can really unify families. We've just really lost that. And so it's been a big mission of mine to press that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And for a moment, I heard everything you said, but I was just still focused on when you mentioned about the cinnamon rolls. That's my favorite. Listen.
Yeah, I should have brought you one next time.
Sorry.
I got you.
No, Dad, you got to come back. You got to come back, or I'll come out there and check you out. And I got to give my guests their props. That hoodie is fire.
Thank you.
Come on, let them know.
Thank you.
Max Snack Shack.
Hey, I'm coming out with some soon, y'all, so stay tuned.
Max Snack Shack. Yes, that is fire. I like that.
Thank you.
Miss Makayla, what's your go-to snack, whether it's from Max Snack Shack or something else? What's your go-to snack on the go, being such a busy entrepreneur and person in the community? Because I know you don't always have time to sit down or prepare a meal, sit down, and then, go on with your day. What's your go-to thing? Like, all right, I got my keys, my wallet, my, blah, 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 phone. All right, let me just grab something before I leave the house. What is it?
I got it in my bag. I'm going to show you.
Oh, boy.
Okay, I'm a Bev girl, y'all. I'm a Bev girl, so, I love protein shakes, love all that.
Yes.
These, I drink all the time. Oh, here, let me put it in the camera.
Yeah?
It's a protein chocolate milk. Let me tell you, get these at Costco. It'll save your life.
Yes.
And then a banana. You're in there. But, I like to, being so busy and being so active, I've got 20-hour days sometimes between my part-time job and my business, and then doing my community things, doing my cooking classes, board meetings, all of that. I really value health. As much as I may make desserts, I think it's very important what we put in our bodies. To be able to show up and perform how we should. So, I'm not really eating just sweets and stuff all the time. I try my products because I need to make sure they're good. But I'm really big on, eating healthy, low sugar, high protein,
There
that
you
type
go.
of stuff to keep me to be able to show up how I need to for what I do.
Yep. Show
Yeah.
up and show out.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's dope because even making those small changes can make a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can have something sweet and it tastes amazing, but you can find ways to not have as much sugar or different ingredients that you can do, because people think sometimes if I eat healthy or, I'm trying to eat on the better side, it's not going to taste good. And sometimes that's true, but I think with the power of the internet and word of mouth, there's so many different tips and tricks you can find out.
Yeah.
Even if someone in your family has, certain type of allergies or whatnot, or they're allergic. Oh, I'm allergic to, soy, or I'm allergic to, okay, well, it says here I can try this. And,
Yeah, growing up, we used to substitute eggs for applesauce. Just certain things like that in breads. You don't really realize how you can use a completely different ingredient to substitute another one, or a pumpkin puree, or whatever the case may be. But I definitely, like what you're saying, you want to be able to enjoy something and it be healthier. And that was definitely something that pressed on me as I was like working. It's like, okay, you value health and you're literally feeding sugar to everybody. That doesn't make any sense. So, for me, I was like, I still kind of want to eat something sweet, especially if I'm looking at sugar all day.
Right.
I want to go grab that lemon poppy seed muffin. Let me tell you. And so, when I have goals, I want to stick to that. And so I started making protein balls. And I started making oat bars, right, that are vegan. So they're both only like 5 ingredients, like mainly peanut butter, protein powder,
Whoa,
oats.
hey, don't give them all the goods.
Hey, I ain't go. Y'all don't know how to mix it together like I do. All right, I ain't telling you
Don't
everything.
give 'em everything.
I won't. I know. They got to know what they eating though.
This
Okay.
is true.
So putting that together, I was eating that myself every day to help curb my cravings and things like that. And then something was like, you need to start selling these to people. Like, these are good,
Yeah.
So now I have my healthy oat bars. Well, I shouldn't even call them. They're just my oat bars. And my protein bites. They're in a smoothie bar in where I live in Lacey. And then they're about to be in a smoothie and juice bar up in Tacoma and Seattle, and my gym coming very soon. So to be able to also provide healthy desserts has been a blessing.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you think you're better than me?
No, not at all. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
You got strengths that I don't have.
I don't. Well, I guess we all do, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to make sure you weren't coming to take my job or anything.
Oh, heck no. This is
All right.
you got this
All
for
right,
sure.
Are you sure?
For sure.
Miss Makayla, what's your menu looking like? What's the most popular item that you have? And it doesn't even have to be your favorite, because I know everything is wonderful. But what's the most popular?
Well, I have a variety of things that I make between custom cakes, my commercial baked goods, and
Do
then
tell.
my candied grapes. Okay.
Candied grapes.
Yes.
You said what?
Candied grapes.
Candied grapes.
Yes.
Come on.
So they are a grape that you dip in a homemade candy mixture. I make them myself. And then you dip it in that, and then you roll it in crushed candy and you freeze it. And so I do candied grapes, candied pineapple, candied mango, candied kiwi. Honestly, any fruit that you can think of, I can candy. But the most popular ones is the pineapple and the grapes. Those, I mean, I got people driving from above Seattle to come grab them from me all the way down in Olympia. So
Okay.
I would say that those are one of my most popular items. For my cakes, my strawberry crunch cake, I came out with a cheesecake line. So cake is like all caps, because it's a cake with a full cheesecake in the center. So it's 3 layers: cake, cheesecake, cake. And then it's covered in the strawberry crunch topping. So it kind of tastes like that strawberry ice cream bar that you have.
Those are my.
Oh, and I was at the fair last year. I had people coming in just buying fair tickets to come buy some cake and some grapes and leave. Like,
Oh, you were set up at the fair.
the Thurston County Fair. Yeah, I'm
What?
thinking about doing the Puyallup Fair, but that's y'all go. They sold me out every night. I was working all night, every night for 5 days straight, because
Yeah.
people were just going crazy, and so it was a blessing, and I felt so supported and loved by my community. But to know, I got to really come prepared to be in something like that. It's crazy. And then my other one would be banana pudding. I sell it at. My banana pudding is so good. I will say, I don't like to my own horn like that, but it's good. I've had people literally circling my house, calling me like, where is this banana pudding? I don't want to keep going to the restaurant.
Isn't that called stalking?
It is.
There's laws against that.
It was
too,
like
so.
4 people in one day. They're calling me like, I've been circling this place. I'm tired of going to the restaurant. I'm buying 4 a day. I need a pan. And I'm like, I'm like, can you? I'm like,
They're like, I see you just pulled up.
They're like, quit hiding.
You're like, what? Now you just closed the blinds. I saw you.
Lock the door.
Yeah, man. Come on. Yeah. So you do the cakes. You do parties. You do special requests.
So I do large catering. You know, with the birthday parties, it just depends. There's some to a certain point where what I do just doesn't fit within what people are wanting for like a kid's birthday party.
Gotcha.
But I do love to do like large corporate events. I love to do. I do caterings for some of the local colleges, Pierce College, St. Martin's University, SPSCC, stuff like that.
You do like bachelorette parties and weddings.
Oh, I love me a good wedding.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Man, that's what's up. Is there anything that you don't bake yet that you're looking into possibly putting your toe in the water saying, let me see if I can come up with something that fits that area? I haven't tried it yet, but.
Well, with the catering, I love to cater. I love to do those big events and be able to connect with the people at the events and stuff like that. And one thing I really want to get into is like more luxury desserts. You know, I do to a certain extent a luxury vibe, but I'd really love to get into, you know, more of those handcrafted mousse cakes and things like that. They've really been on my mind to get into that type of.
So what are you waiting for?
Time. Free time.
Oh,
yeah.
The whole time thing.
Yeah, because when I'm in the kitchen, I mean, I'm at it, getting out my orders. And I work at night too, so it's you kind of get tired. And so, you know, I want to have some extra time to be able to focus in the kitchen where I'm at and be able to develop that. But I want to know that my business is still operating without me taking time out of that. So it's been a blessing. I just got my first intern this week from SPSCC.
Okay.
So it's really awesome. They've got a whole bunch of culinary students that want to learn entrepreneurship, want to kind of get into that vibe. And what I had, you know, addressed with the colleges, you guys give kids culinary certificates and degrees, but what do they get to use with that? Go be a line cook? Know how to cook at home? I'm like, you're not fostering how they can take those skills and actually like make their own individual career out of it. And so I was like, send them my way. Let them come see how I've built my business. Let them pick my brain a little bit, and then I'm gonna get some help, you know. And so it's been a blessing to be able to kind of step back. I forget at times. I'll go do everything, and then she's standing there like.
She's like, can I help out?
And I'm like, oh,
can I help out? Huh? I'm here. Hello.
Yeah, that's you. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I got you. So.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Makayla, you're all right.
Thank you. You're all right too.
Yeah. No, I'm trying. You know, every day, one day at a time. Before we got started, it's funny how conversations, you know, just come out. And you were telling me about your amazing other job. And it kind of surprised me because I'm like, all right, she's already working 25 hours a day. How in the world does she have time for another job? And you told me what you do, and I was like, man, that's very important work. You know, do tell. Can you tell the audience more? Because it's just an amazing story that I think more people need to hear.
Well, what part do you want to know about it? Just what I do.
What you want to do? We got time. You want everything?
Yeah. Well,
just keep it PG.
And it might be hard.
I'll tell you what, PG. I'll tell you what, PG-13.
Okay. Right. I could do that.
Yeah.
So my second job is I'm an on-call correctional officer at my local juvenile detention center. And yeah, it is a fulfilling job to say the least. To go in there, see the kids, work with them. I am able to work with the inmates, and then I also work with the youth development program. So that is for the kids who are not quite at the, we've got felonies and crime level, but they just are, starting off on the wrong path, getting into trouble, not showing up to school, stuff like that. Yeah. So they created a program where they have a garden and they grow produce, learn that type of stuff. And then they donate tens of thousands of pounds to the local food bank. And the kids go help over there. They get to go to different farms and kind of see different aspects of life, versus, maybe what their troubled home life is or what they're experiencing is in their general day to day. So yeah, it's a very interesting job to say the least.
Yeah. What are the ages of the? So
We don't hold, our facility doesn't hold anyone over 18, though the state sees them as technically juvenile until they're 25. If you age up to 18, you automatically get sent to like JRA, which is like, the bigger facilities like Echo Glen, Nacelle, Green Hill, those ones. So the youngest we've had since I've been there is 11.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, which is really sad.
Just a baby.
Yeah, and that one was actually from Seattle. They had came down and gotten arrested in our county. So it's crazy to see the different aspects of where people are coming from. Yeah. We've got one kid in there. He's been a long-time resident waiting to get his sentence. He's on his last strike. He's 15. But a little bit of his story, he was, and I always told him, like, your story is going to change lives for real. But he was selling crack in Chicago at 4 years old. His mom made him sell drugs. And so 4 years old, imagine your little baby out there serving. And it breaks my heart. But when I talk to him, he just doesn't know anything different. That's just how he was conditioned. And it's really sad to see people really look down on someone like that because of how they were forced to be raised, But yeah, he was facing 40 years and God's really on his side because he got 10. So, it's like you still have your life to grow and develop and things like that. And it's like, he can still have an opportunity to change what he knows.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. It's really sad.
Do you ever find yourself wanting to do even more than what your job requires? Like, man, I see something in this kid, or I see something in that person, or when you know what their family dynamic might be like or their history, and you just say, God, they just need another chance. And I wish I can provide them some type of assistance or just let them know that I'm here.
Well, I consider myself a leader. And, sometimes that's a hard burden to bear. So coming into that place, seeing all the disparities that they have, I definitely find myself doing more, not just wanting to, but doing more. My job is to support and make sure that they're okay. And a lot of times they're just not even getting that. So when I come into work, I practice affirmations with them. I write down different things that they can repeat to themselves. I give them Bible verses. That's a dark place in there. There's a lot of bad conversations that go on. These kids get treated like trash. There's people that tell them you're only going to be a druggie your whole life. You're just a criminal. You're a piece of crap. All this stuff.
Less than human, pretty much.
Yeah, and taking away their basic needs. They don't get to have the medical attention that they should be having. Just certain things, dehumanizing them. I try to give them the most liberty that they can have because they're already serving punishment. Being away from their family, being in those cells all the time, that's punishment. And my job is not to serve punishment. But being in a position of power as a correctional officer, you tend to, use that to your advantage. And so this just last week, I went into work and something told me before I left, I think this was God for real. He was like, bring him some oranges. And I was like, this is not normally something we do, but you can do it. And so it's like, bring him a bag of oranges. So I went into work, brought him the oranges. Come to find out, this little girl had torn up the pod. She had lost her mind, had a mental break, was bashing her head on the ground. Gave herself a concussion, broke open her face, and like the kids were just traumatized. Since I've been there, I've literally found 2 kids trying to commit suicide. And the ways that they handle it is tackling them, putting them in isolation. There's no empathy. It's you're stupid. You're acting up. Why are you doing that? The guards are not equipped. And so for me, it's like, I've dealt with my best friend. I lost my best friend to suicide. I came from a very abusive home. I was homeless at 15. I was involved in gang violence. My brother, he's in jail right now at 15 for domestic violence. The things that I experienced in my real life, I feel like has really equipped me to be able to support these kids and really edify them that this is not determining your life. This is a stage. This is protection because you clearly were not thinking for yourself and what was safe. You could have died. And so this is not punishment, this is protection. And so just being able to remind them, I went in there, I gave them the oranges, and I talked to my supervisor, and I was like, can I continue to do this? Because these kids need to be treated like real people,
right.
And her response was, don't make it a habit.
All right.
We don't want to have to keep that up. We don't want them to feel like they're special.
Yeah, we don't want them to feel like they are a human being, as if what they're going through isn't enough.
Yeah.
As if everything that they went through prior to being in there wasn't enough. Let's continue to make them angry and dehumanize them and disrespect them. That's going to make it better, right?
Yeah.
So, no. You can't show them, here's an orange.
Like a little cutie. It wasn't even a full-size orange. It was a cutie.
But listen, even if you would have gave them one of those wonderful, wonderful snacks from Max Snack
And I'm
Shack,
trying to.
but you gave them an orange. So that just makes me think, some people are in these jobs for the wrong reason.
Oh, for sure.
Some of these people are just adult bullies who like having a title and, just standing over people. And that's really weird. And it says a lot about that person's character to seek joy in that.
Oh.
And especially in a child.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is crazy.
It breaks my heart every day. I have to make sure that I pray and stay equipped. I read my Bible at work because there is just times where I'm so emotionally tested. And not from the children. I feel like I've been graced with the ability to give so much grace to these kids and really show compassion and empathy. This one kid, I found him trying to commit suicide. And I had to call for backup. And they had came in, they ended up tackling him. He freaked out, kicked the supervisor in his nuts. And, that's a misdemeanor. So now he's got another charge, and that's sad to me that you were at a place of disparity and now you're being punished for that disparity. Right. In the midst of that, right. He's mentally unstable as it is already. We know this. He's in a competency test, meaning like, is he even competent to know he committed a crime? Like that's where he's at. He ended up calling me the N-word, like with the hard R, right? Yeah. And he was just saying, you're a slave, this, that, and the third. For me, that's wrong. That's wrong. The other guards were very, very upset. None of them were people of color. And just the whole way that they treated him after was very, very demeaning, in my opinion. The next day I came into work. We had talked. I had to help him. I'm not going to not serve him because he hurt my feelings or whatever, And it didn't necessarily hurt my feelings. I was just kind of like, that's disappointing, that you would take it there,
Right.
And he was like, we were having a conversation. We were just talking. I'm not going to treat him any different. And he was just like, I'm really sorry for calling you that. I'm really sorry that I said that. And I said, I forgive you. Like, that's okay. We get mad. We do things that we don't mean. But my question to you is, are you a racist? Because you don't treat me like that when you're okay. You don't say color when you're okay. So my question to you is, are you a racist? You need to ask yourself that, because that's going to determine your character, right? This is about character. This isn't about my feelings. And he was like, no, I'm not a racist. He's like, I've dated black women before, so I kind of feel like I can say that. And I was like, okay, well, no. I was like, hold on, no, that's not the truth. That's not a pass. I said, but when do you ever hear black people calling each other that? I said, we don't do that. So what gave you the authorization to call me that? And he started thinking. He was like, you're right. And I was like, yeah. So that's what I want you to understand is when you're angry, you see color. And that is something that you have to work on. Because you're a good kid. You're a kind person. But when you're angry, all that goes out the door. And I was like, and I forgive you, but there's other people who don't. So you just need to be careful. Careful about what you say. Careful about what you do when you're angry. Because you could say that to the wrong person and die. And that's what I want you to get out of this situation. Not that you're a bad person for calling me that. But you need to know that in this moment, you had protection because you said it to me. But the next person may not be that kind. And that, that's how we should be talking to these children. It's an opportunity to teach them and give them a lesson, because a lot of these kids come from homes where their parents are beating on them or treating them so inhumane, just like what we're doing. And then they come in here and get treated the same. We got kids on episode 25. We call it an episode, which alarms me. Why are we calling it an episode like it's a TV show? Anyway, so there's kids that are on like episode 25 at the age of 15. It's the same environment that they're used to, And a lot of kids, they come in on DV, and it's because them and their parents got in a brawl, but the kid got to go. because the parent is always winning. And so it's like some of these kids are really traumatized.
Yeah.
They come from really abusive homes and they only know how to operate in aggression. Yeah. And so it's like we don't train the guards to have empathy or have the right language with children. They just get angry and fight back. And it's like we got 1-800-HARM something, you know, that number you call when you're feeling like somebody's hurting you. We got that on the wall. And the kids are like, hey, can I use the phone because I feel in danger? And they're like, nah, you can go to your cell. And it's like that for me is like something has to change. How we talk, how we treat, how we operate. Something's got to change or these kids are just always going to be like this. Yeah. They're just going to be people of the system. And it's like they're perpetuating that. This is not a rehabilitation center.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of rehabilitation? I don't know, but that's what they need to call it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't feed anger with anger and expect them to exude peace. You know.
The guy that kid kicked in the nuts. I wasn't even going to say this, but I'm going to say it.
Go ahead.
The guy who kicked the kid he was in the what we call the fishbowl because it's a room where we can see you completely and there's no privacy, right? Mm-hmm. So after he had tried to, you know, hurt himself and all that happened, the supervisor was in there by himself with him. And he had told the kid, you're going to get the chair and I hope you die. And the kid after he had apologized for calling me the N-word, I feel like that conversation is what pushed him to talk to me because he was feeling very guilty, especially after he said that. Yeah. And he started crying. He was like, I don't want to get the chair. I don't want to die. And I was like, that's crazy. I was like, that's not the truth. That's a lie. And he was an angry, hurt person from what you did. And I'm sorry that he wanted to hurt you that bad that he would say something like that to you. Because that's not even something that we do anymore. Right. So the fact that he would even try to plant that in your mind, knowing that you're already vulnerable, I said was wrong. And he's wrong for that, you know? And it's sad to see that. You say one thing to a kid, they're going to hold on to that. It's going to circulate in their mind while they're sitting in that cell. And it's like, He probably is at risk to do that again because of that comment. Yeah.
He's like, this must be me. This must be true. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
So what's one thing that you want people to understand when they have these preconceived thoughts of what they think these kids are about? If there's kids that are in these situations and they just need help. What's one thing you want people to understand as far as how these kids got here and just remembering that they're still human beings?
There's power in flaws, right? And so when I see someone who's gone through so much adversity, I see strength in them, right? And so we choose to see all of the face front stuff. Right. Oh, the charges, what they did, you know, but we're not really looking at the soul or at the heart, you know. Right. A lot of people, and I know from my own experience, you know, I came from a very highly domestic violence home. I was kicked out at 15. I was in gang violence, you know, a lot of shootouts, a lot of aggression, you know, this type of stuff, drugs. A lot of the reasons why I did that is because I wasn't safe at home and I found safety in other things. And so from that perspective, it's like when we see a kid, because they're just a kid. When you see a kid, we're rooted in, we're chasing safety. We're chasing love, right? And when you don't have that as a child, you can be manipulated in so many different ways to think something's safe, you know? And just a transparency, I still struggle to feel safe walking down the street. But I know I would feel safe if we was in a shootout. And that's because of my conditioning. You know what I mean? And there's something that's wrong in that. But it was because of the unsafety that I had in my home, the chaos that always when it happened. I never felt like I had a safe place to lay my head, you know, because even if I came home, there was violence. So being around people who gonna fight for me, but the violence is still happening, you gonna do whatever they want. Yeah. You gonna act however they want. You gonna blend in with them because that's
some sort of comfort,
right? Yeah, because they still gonna let you cry on their shoulder, but they definitely gonna make you, you know, serve that bag. So for me, it's like you see these kids they're just searching for love. They're searching to be heard. How many times do you sit and let a kid just talk and talk authentically? Not, oh, hey, don't say that now. Yeah. Like just talk authentically. Say how they feel. If you need to cuss up a storm because you're that angry, do it, bro. Do it, because that's how you're feeling. And I think that we've just gone to this point of what power surge where we don't even want to give kids voices. We don't even want to hear their opinions. And that's a lot of times why I feel like kids are going down the routes that they're going. And so it's like, if you're meeting a kid who's troubled, like, be a bucket. And when I say this to kids all the time, do you need a bucket or a hose? And they're like, what? I'm like, do you need to pour into me? Do you need to just offload and fill this up, right? Because I'm empty. I'm ready to hear. I'm ready to listen. I'm, ready to receive. But do you need a hose as well, right? And that means, do you want me to water you back? Do you want me to say something? Some of these kids just want a place where they can dump it out and not say anything back. And just be like, okay, they heard me. All right, I'm good. I got it off my chest. And it's like, some of us, we so empowered, we can't even hear, but we also want to teach so bad, and we don't even have the right words to say back to them. That's really going to impact them, Yeah. And so just being perceptive of who you're talking to, trying to actually hear what's going on versus what you're seeing face front. That guy with the face tats and all the tatted up and down and buff could be the nicest man you've ever met. You know what I mean? And so just really, we're all human.
Yeah.
We're all human, no matter the mistakes we made.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I think it'd be cool if you could work with some of the kids and help them develop their culinary art skills. That would be kind of cool to see them be excited about something like that and be able to show off what they learned.
So funny you say that.
Oh, man.
Funny you say that. I love my job. I love what I've been able to do in creating my own path, right? And so it gives me flexibility. And so I had talked to the dude that runs the youth development program, and I was like, hey, and this was literally 2 days ago, I said, hey, I would love to have these kids down in my kitchen. I'd love them to come observe and see what I'm doing. If they want to jump in and make something. I was like, even me being at an event, or even like, I do a lot of stuff with the chamber that I sit on the board for. We do forums with hundreds of people, and we're talking about political stuff, It's for them to be able to come and see that aspect of life. I'm 24. I'm very, very blessed to be where I'm at. And I want these kids to know they have power. You know what I mean? I was where they were at. I didn't get caught, Right. I just didn't get caught. And that's only by the grace of God. And so being able for them to see, when I was selling drugs, that's how I got to where I'm at, because you sell cookies the same way you sell weed. You buy a product, you figure out how much it costs, and then you figure out how much you got to sell it for to make money back. Mm-hmm. It's the same concept. Mm-hmm. And so I really took my knowledge from the streets and grew my business that way. And so it's like, I'm a cookie dealer. In my mind, not really, but that mentality. Yeah. And so to be able to show these kids, like, you have so many skills and knowledge, but how can you do it in your way that fits for you, not what society wants you to do? Because I never once thought I'm going to bake the way everybody else bakes. I thought I'm going to do it differently.
Yeah, you tell them. Makayla.
Yeah, I'm going to do it differently.
Come on, Makayla. So, let's go.
So it was just, you got me riled up now.
Mac Snack Shack.
So,
Mac Snack Shack.
Yeah, so it's just, say it 3 times fast.
Mac Snack Shack. I'm not, why did I even try?
Hey, that's going to be a thing. I'm going to be like, that's a test. You got to say it 3 times fast. So yeah, it's just being able to empower them in a different way, you know?
Yeah. I think with everything that you went through, and, you were saying by the grace of God, and I think that means so much, because you didn't take any of those lessons for granted. You took them as, okay, lesson learned. I don't want to go back to that. I'm going to use what I learned to better myself. Even with the drugs to cookies analogy, that's like true. You're like, all right, if I have these business skills, let me use them for the greater good in a positive way, and I can make money and whatnot. But I think that you are a testament of not letting your situation define you. You are able to find good in some really horrible situations, and you're paying it forward by trying to help the youth who's coming in after you. I think a lot of times some of us go through situations, we make it out, we're doing all right, and that's it. We're not trying to extend a hand to someone else. it's like, I made it, I got mine, I'm good, that's it. And then we wonder why the next person is going through something. Or, at the end of the day, I think everyone is just looking to be accepted. Not on a superficial, oh, accept me, I got the new car, but everyone wants to feel like they're going to be okay. I can express myself to you with no fear or judgment.
That part.
You're going to be there for me whether everything's perfect or I feel like everything sucks. You're not going to be someone else to kick me in the back while I'm already struggling to get up. Yep. I think no one, I think a lot of us won't admit it, but that's what everyone's looking for. You just want to be able to be you and have that be enough. You know what I mean? Sorry, this interview is about you.
I know you hit it right on the head, and I think that I just put on Facebook last night. I said, if I can inspire you guys to do anything by what I show, is that your gifts will make room for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who you truly are is what will make room for you. But we cut off the ability to be vulnerable and be truly who we are with people because we don't feel accepted.
Yeah.
And so I feel very blessed to have the ability to truly show up how I am and show my heart, because my heart is what's gotten me to where I am. I believe I got this job and I'm working in my business all for a reason. Like, they're intertwined in some crazy way. And, it's not easy. There's a lot of hard days, a lot of long days. I'd be not sleeping for days at times. But to know that what I'm doing is truly purposeful, and what purpose is, like, you're growing the communities that you're in, right? And so I'm literally growing and connecting and doing all these things when I'm anywhere I'm at in my business, doing my cooking classes. I do a lot of cooking classes for free because I think that it is an important thing. We don't have people advocating for edible education and health. And, you can't be the best you if you're not healthy. So, I want to teach people how to be able to prepare food at the food bank, that you get. Yeah. Why is it that the food bank, all the produce that I want to teach people how to cook is provided by the juvie where I work? And I'm connected to the program now that provides that produce. So now I have literal insight of what recipes I should be looking at, what type of foods I should be looking at. Like, it's just so crazy. I have direct contact with the warehouse now. Like, it's all for a purpose. And so I just want to be able to be an example of whatever's on your heart, chase that.
Yeah.
It's nothing's too crazy. It's only crazy until it happens. And so when I say all the things I'm doing, like, whoa, that's crazy. And it's like, it's because I'm doing it. I'm showing up to life and I'm doing what I know God has put in me. Not because of the fear of my color, not because of the fear of people are not going to respect me because I'm 24. The way I show up, people don't even ask me my age. I had to realize that's not even a factor. People don't care about how old I am because of what I'm doing. That's and right. It's like, you can change the world at 17. You could, if you put your mind to it, right? And so it's just like, we all got it in us.
We do. Whew. Max Snack Shack. Makayla, that was very beautiful. Thank you so much. And before we go, can you please let people at home know, how do I get a hold of her? Max Snack Shack, I want to check it out. I want to see what's up with her. I want to hire her. Or I just want to tell her I appreciate what she's doing.
Yeah.
Let people know.
So you can find me on Instagram at Max Snack Shack 1. If you want to follow more of like my baking classes and more of like the juvie type stuff, you can follow me at making it _ with Mac on Instagram. And then you can find me at Max Snack Shack on Facebook as well. But I am working on a website and it's going to be maxsnackshack.com. That'll be coming up very soon. And then keep an eye out for my DoorDash. All right. If you're in the Olympia area, Lacey area, I will be on DoorDash coming very soon. You can get a lot of my goodies on there, my candied grapes, my banana pudding, all of that. So it'll be a late night dessert shop. So we're kind of trying to hit the people with the munchies, if you know what I mean.
Do you want to give out any shout outs?
Shout out to God.
Yep.
Shout out to God. He has been my protector and just been my motivation to continue to use my story for his glory. And thank you to my mentors who have pushed me to continue to grow and have, not been afraid to show me my flaws and be like, hey, you need to get a little better here. And my family. My family's been an amazing support to me through all of this. So, yes, thank you.
Yeah, man. And thank you. And thank you for being my mentor.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
You didn't even know, did you?
No, I did it.
Yeah, hey, But no, thank you for the work that you're doing. And if no one tells you, I appreciate it because it's needed. And I think if you can help make a difference in one life, you're on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much, Makayla.
Yeah, thank
Max Snack Shack. Let's go. Max Snack
Shack.
Shack. One more
What?
time.
Max Snack Shack.
One more time.
Hey,
Max Snack Shack. Let's
What?
go.
Hey, Max Snack Shack. Hey, Max Snack Shack. Hey, what? Hey,
Max
Snack Shack. Hey, Max Snack Shack.
Oh,
like
man. Like that?
Yes,
was dope,
that was
man.
good.
We're in
That was
sync.
good.
Come on
Hey.
now. Well, thank you again for showing up and showing out, and we'll be on the lookout. And if you ever need us, let us know. Stay connected, please.
Yes, for sure.
Thank
for sure.
you.
Thank you.
And I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Like I always say, it's important to take care of others, but please, please make sure you take time to take care of yourself. Until next time, stay connected. Peace.